Hi everyone, my name is Sara Machado and today I'd like to thank you all for joining me. Today's video topic will be on incentive pay and how you can learn more insight about how it works, types of incentive pay, the advantages and disadvantages, along with some key aspects to keep in mind when designing an incentive pay program. First, we'll talk a little bit about incentive pay and how it works. Then we'll talk about the types of performance measures. Let's explore incentive pay. Incentive pay can be looked at as a way to reward employees for their performance. It is a way that encourages them to perform at a higher level and can continue to motivate them to work even harder at their objectives and goals in the workplace. Incentive pay rewards employees for partially or completely attaining a predetermined work objective. Individual employees and work teams differ on how exactly they want to contribute to the company. It all depends on what they do and just exactly how they perform as well. The company's overall performance depends on the performance of individuals and groups within the company. Incentive pay is important because in order to attract, retain, and motivate high performers and to be fair to all other employees, a company needs to reward employees on the basis of their relative performance. Companies will generally institute incentive pay programs to control payroll costs or to motivate employees' productivity. Employees are becoming more increasingly eligible for incentive pay. Companies are beginning to recognize the importance of applying incentive pay programs to various kinds of employees, including production, technical, and service workers. Incentive pay programs are on the rise. Now let's take a look at performance in regards to incentive pay. It is important to know the difference between incentive pay and traditional pay, so we're going to take a deeper look at how to contrast between the two. Incentive pay companies reward individual employees, teams, or groups of employees, or even whole companies based on their performance. Incentive pay plans are not limited solely to production or non-supervisory workers. Many plans apply to employees like sales professionals, managers, and executives. The management team will typically rely on business objectives to determine incentive pay levels, such as profits and sales growth. Traditional pay, on the other hand, is based on fixed hourly pay rate or an annual salary, as most are familiar with. Employees in this group earn raises according to their length of service in an organization or according to their supervisor's subjective appraisals of that particular employee's job performance. Now we are going to briefly touch on the types of performance measures. Many companies use measurement models, matrices, or frameworks to help them set objective measures on employee work performance. These measures help management to stay objective as opposed to the slippery slope of a subjective approach. Now we will discuss the eligibility and various types of incentive plans for employees. Employees want to know what key characteristics do they hold that can unlock the potential for an incentive increase. Let's take a look at the individual incentive plans and how they work. Individual incentive plans reward employees whose work performance in independently shows that they typically have to meet work-related performance standards such as quality, productivity, customer satisfaction, safety, or attendance. These standards can be used independently or collectively. There are various types of individual incentive plans. Management incentive plans award bonuses to managers when they meet or exceed objectives based on sales, profit, production, or other measures for their department or division. Behavioral encouragement plans is what employees receive payments for specific behavioral accomplishments like good attendance or safety records. Referral plans are used when the employees refer new customers or recruiting successful job applicants. This is typically used when highly qualified employees are low or when the company is experiencing explosive growth. Spot bonuses are small monetary gifts given to employees for outstanding work or effort during a reasonably short period of time. Depending on the noteworthy achievement, the employee could potentially earn a large bonus. Group incentive plans are popular for teams of individuals who come together and collaborate to be innovative. Managers must devise methods for allocating incentives to their team members. This is typically done in one of three ways, either by equal incentive payments to all team members or differential incentive payments to team members based on their contribution to the team's performance, or by differential payments determined by a ratio of each team member's base pay to the total base pay of the group. In gains-sharing plans, this provides participating employees with an incentive payment based on improved company performance or increased productivity, increased customer satisfaction, lower costs, or better safety records. This was designed so that all employees could benefit financially from productivity improvements. Most gain-sharing programs will have three major components. They will have leadership philosophy, employee involvement systems, and a bonus. This promotes cooperative organizational climate and drives organizational productivity improvements. Next, we will look into the ups and downs, or the advantages and disadvantages, of incentive pay plans. First, for individual incentive plans, the first advantage we have listed here is the relationship between pay and performance. The second advantage would be the equitable distribution of compensation, and thirdly, the individualistic culture, which allows us to be focused on our pay incentive earnings. Regarding group incentive plan advantages, the first would be that they are easier to develop, and secondly, there is usually greater cohesion. This is because the company uses fewer resources to create groups, and they are highly productive, and they work together to achieve common goals and maintain accountability. And now on to the disadvantages of individual incentive plans. The first being the inflexibility due to the dependability on supervisors to set work goals and expectations. The second would be issues regarding performance measurement problems, rather. Individual incentive programs pose measurement problems when management implements improved work methods or equipment. The third disadvantage would be that they could produce undesirable workplace behavior when these plans reward only one or a subset of dimensions that constitute the employee's total performance. And now, the disadvantages of group incentive plans. The first is the free rider effect, where some employees may make fewer contributions to the group's goals because they possess lower abilities. The second disadvantage would be influence, or group members feeling uncomfortable with the fact that other members' performance influences their compensation level. This usually happens when other group members are not contributing equally. And now we'll briefly discuss company-wide incentive plans. Company-wide incentive plans are used when companies institute profit-sharing programs with their employees. This can reward employees based on how the organization performs over a specific time period. Now let's talk about the type of company-wide incentive plans. First, we will discuss profit-sharing plans, which is where employees earn financial reward when their company's profit objective is met. A paid portion of the company's profits will actually go to the employees separate from the base pay. Secondly, we have the employee stock option plans, which is where companies grant employees the right to purchase shares of company stock. This represents a long-term company-wide plan that provides employees with stock options. Under these plans, companies grant employees the right to purchase shares of the company stock. And next, we will discuss what to keep in mind when designing an incentive pay program. There are a few key factors to consider. First, the company must decide whether the plan should be based on group or individual employee performance. The company must consider the nature of the work and how the work is going to be measured. And that's for this slide here. And the next slide, the company must consider and weigh out any risks involved. This depends on the level of risk that employees are willing to take and accept, the levels of productivity, and the level at which goals are set. And lastly, performance criteria. The first being performance appraisal used to appraise employee performance. The performance measures chosen are often those that closely relate to the company's competitive strategy. To reiterate, the competitive strategy. To conclude this training video, let's remember that incentive plans are used to keep employees highly motivated and engaged. These plans encourage them to be forward-thinking and innovative, which can help to build our companies in return. Thank you for taking the time to watch this training video on incentive pay.